What is the halacha if one forgot to recite Ya'aleh Veyavo in his Shacharis Shemona Esrei and only remembered after he already davened Musaf? Should he repeat Shemona Esrei of Shacharis, and if it's already after Chatzai, should he daven Mincha twice, once for Mincha, the second as Tashlumin, or does he fulfill his obligation of his Shacharis prayer? So we have a clear ruling in the Gemara in Brachis Daf Lamed Amud Beis, recorded in the Mechaber in Shulchanaruchharav chapter 422 Halacha 1. The one who forgot Ya'aleh Veyavo in Shacharis must repeat Shemona Esrei. No discussion or qualification is made in those sources regarding if this occurred before he davened the Musaf, or if he remembered that he forgot Ya'aleh Veyavo only after he davened Musaf. And accordingly, based on this, many poskim achreinim rule and conclude that even if one remembered only after he already davened Musaf, he must go back and repeat Shemona Esrei of Shacharis, and if it is after the time of davening Shacharis after Chatzos, he is to wait till Mincha and daven Tashlumin, a second Shemona Esrei after Mincha, for the sake of making up his Shacharis Shemona Esrei, which was invalidated due to his forgotten Ya'aleh Veyavo. So rules and concludes the Pri Chadash in 126 Halacha 3, the Chidon Shirei Bracha, Erech HaShulchan, Shal Meitziba, Zchol Avram, Shari Tshuva, Beis Eiv, the Kaf HaChaim, and opinions brought in the Mishnah Berurah. The Chidon Shirei Bracha brings a Rashba that seems to rule like this opinion, like this approach that you must repeat Shemona Esrei even after Musaf. Therefore, that's the way he concludes the halacha. However, do all poskim agree to this approach? The answer is no. You have many Gdolei HaPoskim Achreinim who rule that the entire law brought in the Gemara and Brachos and in the Shulchanaruchharav of the Mechaber, that one must repeat Shemona Esrei if he remembered that he forgot Ya'aleh Veyavo. It only applies if he remembered before he davened Musaf. But if you already davened Musaf, and then in middle of Musaf or after Musaf, he remembered, wow, I forgot Ya'aleh Veyavo in Shemona Esrei, or I'm in doubt if I said Ya'aleh Veyavo in Shemona Esrei of Shacharis, he does not have to repeat the prayer at all, not even as an adava. He has fulfilled his obligation. His Shacharis Shemona Esrei is valid. Who rules this way? So rules the Rameh, Mipuno in Tshuva 25, the Magen Avram 126.3, the Knesset Agdela. And so rules the Alter Rebbe in Shulchanaruch 126 Halacha 3, without bringing any dissenting opinion. And thus Halacha L'maisa, for all those who follow the rulings of Shulchanaruchharav, that is the law. If a person remembered only after Musaf or in the midst of Musaf that he forgot Ya'aleh Veyavo in the Shacharis Shemona Esrei, he has fulfilled the Shacharis Shemona Esrei, and he is not required to repeat the Shemona Esrei, not before Chatzos, not after Chatzos as Tashlumin, as he has fulfilled his obligation. The Mishnah Berurah and Moruk Tzia bring both opinions down and conclude that one should repeat it as a Tfilas Nedava. What is the reason behind this latter approach in the poskim, of which we rule like that you don't have to repeat if you already daven Musaf? What's the difference? You didn't say Ya'aleh Veyavo in Shacharis. What's Musaf got to do with it? You did daven Musaf, you didn't daven Musaf. How is that going to affect your Shacharis Shemona Esrei? Explains the Rameh and the Alter Rebbe there in the Shulchanaruch as follows. The whole idea of why we invalidated Shemona Esrei when you didn't mention the day, special day such as Reish Chodesh, is because the day was ignored. And the sages require that the day be mentioned. But if you already daven Musaf, then you already mentioned the day. So you're right before Musaf, since I didn't mention the day, my Shemona Esrei was no good. But once I daven Musaf and I mention Reish Chodesh and Musaf, b'diavad the Chachamim no longer care to invalidate the Shacharis Shemona Esrei due to lacking Ya'aleh Veyavo. What's the source, however, for this ruling? How can one make a qualification of a ruling in the Gemara without any source, seemingly? The answer is there's a clear source that all poskim agree to. Based on the Gemara and Brachos, the Shulchanaruch and the Mechaber regarding a Chazan. If a Chazan forgot Ya'aleh Veyavo in his repetition and already concluded Shemona Esrei, he's not required to go back and repeat it, as he has Musaf in front of him and he'll be Yaitze with Musaf. So we see in the Gemara that they relied on Musaf by a Chazan even the Chatchila. Even before Musaf that he remembered, he doesn't have to repeat Shemona Esrei for the Chazaras Hashatz. So what's good for a Chazan L'Chatchila is good for a Yachid, an individual b'diavad, and therefore he does not have to repeat the prayer if you remember it after Musaf. So to summarize, if you remember that you didn't say Ya'aleh Veyavo before Musaf, you must repeat Shemona Esrei. If you already davened Musaf and then remembered, you do not have to repeat Shemona Esrei. An interesting question is, what is the din if someone is in the middle of Shemona Esrei, of Musaf, he's in the middle of the first three brachas before finishing Akel HaKadosh and starting the middle bracha, and then he remembers, wow, I forgot to say Ya'aleh Veyavo in Musaf, in Shacharis. What is he to do? Should he continue with daven Musaf and then have it validate the Shacharis prayer as we just explained based on the final ruling? Or should he right away start davening his Shacharis Shemina Esrei again? So the Poskim Nachronim conclude in such a situation, he is to continue with the Shacharis Shemina Esrei, mention Ya'aleh Veyavo, and then go back and daven Musaf. And this applies even though when he said the first three brachas, he did not have in mind for it to count for Shacharis. Nonetheless, he can still continue onwards into Shacharis. Seemingly, this would apply even according to the ruling of the Alter Rebbe and those who rule likewise that if you remember after Musaf, you don't have to repeat.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many Sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.